Hi, it's Joe Ricards here, and in this video we're going to pull back the curtain and expose the ugly truth about the marriage agency or the mail-order bride industry here in Ukraine and in Russia. You're going to hear from Vita, an employee of a marriage agency. Actually, she worked in 3 marriage agencies. You're going to hear about firsthand all the cons and scams that she was a part of in these agencies. You're going to even hear from about a story of a Canadian man, a client, that had his heart broken not 1 but 3 times, falling in love with the Ukrainian and Russian women, and how this story just is so gut-wrenching. You know, it broke Vita apart, and that's when she left this business. She left the marriage agency industry for good. She said, I can't be a part of this industry anymore. And if you want to be brave enough to venture to Ukraine in search of a wife, this will equip you with the knowledge and the tools to be able to do that. So, that said, let's talk to Vita. Good morning, Vita.
Good morning, Joe.
Well, I invited you back for a second day to chat with you because our first chat was so amazing.
Thanks. We will try. It will be also amazing.
It will be amazing. So just to recap, you worked in a marriage agency in Ukraine for about a year. And so you've seen, you know, all of the ugly truth of the industry, what happens,
Yes.
what goes on inside this marriage agency industry, and we really want to expose it for the truth. And so Western man understands why he needs to be careful coming to Ukraine to find a beautiful wife. Before we talk some more, can you tell us a little bit maybe about yourself, how old you are, if you're married and you have children?
Well, I'm about 40, 39 already.
Well, you look very beautiful. I wouldn't say you look 40, or
Thanks.
39 even.
Thanks. It's my second marriage and happy marriage. I have 2 children. My first child is from the first marriage, and second child, a newborn, just from second.
Fantastic. Congratulations. That's exciting.
Thanks.
Yeah. Two months old?
Not 2 months old,
6
7.
months. 7 months
Seven
old.
already.
7 They grow quickly.
Flies, time flies.
So your first marriage was to a Turkish man?
Yes.
Yes?
He was a foreign man, and
Foreigner.
our marriage was about 4 years.
4 years. And your second marriage to a Ukrainian man?
Yes, and we are already married 7 years.
So congratulations.
Thanks.
It's exciting. Okay, so before we talked about what happens inside the marriage agency that you worked for, and all of these frauds and scams, how they take advantage not only of the Western man and take advantage and, you know, con him out of his money, but how they're also taking advantage really of the Ukrainian woman. We talked about this. Now, let's talk about, if we could, these socials.
Okay.
You know, just to paint the picture, these socials are these parties that gathering together, maybe 200 young, beautiful Ukrainian women and maybe 20 Western men, and they go to a nightclub. Tell us what you know
drinking.
about these socials, and what do you think of these socials?
First of all, it's if it will be open business and transparent, I should say, then possibly it could be a chance to get acquainted with someone. But normally the man must pay for meeting many men and just to choose them like a horses, I could say, like a product.
A man
is choosing woman.
Yeah. Yes.
So I think if the woman come in first time, maybe if she's really interested in finding men, so the curiosity can bring her there. But I'm sure any normal woman can feel disgusting at this place. Disgusting, because she can feel like herself like a product.
Right.
And you cannot. It's also not good atmosphere for just intimate relation. Just
loud boom
loud music. Too
Everybody's
many
getting
people.
drunk.
Maybe someone is shy. Maybe someone is nervous. Maybe someone doesn't like crowds. You cannot just sit and calmly speak to understand each other. Maybe I think it's not good chance neither for men nor for women. And most women are very young. So they're not interested too much in marriage. But if they are interested, maybe they have just just for profit, just to go abroad, just to get rich men or something like this, or to get some presents or money from agency after the party.
So if I understand you correctly, you're saying the women that are attracted to these socials, that go to these socials, you think they're not serious women. They're young.
Mostly no.
and
Mostly no.
The men are much older.
Much
Almost
older,
like daughter, father,
daughter,
age
father,
difference.
yes, of course.
So that's a big problem anyway. And so these women are just there for the fun, free drinks. And do you know about, is there any gifts or any incentives that
Yeah,
other...
normally girls having money, some presents after the party.
So they
after
pay the girls to come.
Agency
Pay
yes.
each girl,
But
and then
men, of course, doesn't know about this. Just to make a crowd sometimes, because normally people, okay, maybe 1% or 2%. Maybe they have some electricity, between some chemical,
but some chemistry.
Some chemistry,
1
yes,
or 2%.
but it's very little coincidence. Okay, it can be everywhere, but in most cases, no.
So to sum up, it's not good girls generally going to these socials. It's the one they're going for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
They either want to get the gifts
To
and
get
the money,
to get entertainment.
free entertainment, some free
Yes.
drinks, and maybe some curiosity.
Yes, of course.
But they feel like a product.
If the woman feel like product, then she will never come back to such event. Never come back. Just first time, maybe if she has her own principles, her thoughts, and she is really serious, she will directly understand that she can't find a serious man at this place too. So I guess second time she won't come back.
Do you think the marriage agencies that put these socials on, that host these parties, and they charge $4,000 to $5,000 for 3 cities per man? That's what they charge, and they might go to Kharkov, to Odessa, and Kiev.
Yes,
let's say.
concerning big cities, yes.
They will go. They will go to 3 cities, and they'll charge the man $4,000 to $5,000. Do you think these marriage agencies are having these socials intending for couples to meet and make good couples? Do you think that's their intention? Or just about the money?
If we speak about most agencies, and we know that their business are in most cases dirty, so I just think it's for profit, not for just matching people or making couples. But of course, if it's good agency, serious one, then it can be also a good idea to make such socials, but they must be other way organized.
Yes, not in a loud nightclub.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's my question really is, look at the environment, a loud nightclub where you can barely talk and hear each other. You have one night together, and then they move to the next city, one night.
Yes.
Is there really even opportunity, even if there is chemistry or something, do you think there's much of an opportunity to make genuine matchmaking?
Yes, as I said before, maybe 1 or 2% we just give to God. He can give this chance. But in most cases it's impossible, I think.
Vita, I hate to spring this on you a little bit, but do you mind if we talk about sex?
Okay, we can.
I know you were so very open, and so I figured you'd be okay with it.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Western man really wants to know, what is a Ukrainian woman like in the bedroom?
Until he won't try, he will never know for sure, because I can tell only from myself and maybe from the girls whom I know and women.
Kanishna, of course. Yes. And every woman's different.
Every woman is different. It's
like in
personal
any
characteristic, of course, zodiac and.
But I think if you look at Ukrainian women as a whole versus Western women, I think there might be some differences.
I have never tried Western women personally, so I can't compare for sure.
Fair enough.
Yes, but I can say most our women are free, maybe doesn't have too much complexes.
Like inhibitions, very
yes.
uninhibited.
Yes, but
Open.
Also want same attitude from men, so it's a mutual process, because sometimes Ukrainian men prefer just one side process. man side process. But of course, like every woman, I guess in every country, women prefer mutual process. So.
Do you mean the man wants to only
To
take
give
care of himself,
yes,
pleasure
if the-
himself,
yes,
and doesn't care about her so much?
Yes, of course, satisfaction must get both sides,
Of course.
women and men.
Of course.
So
Yes. No. It's good, and so uninhibited, free. Any other characteristics in the bedroom the woman is?
you know, it's hard to say for me in comparison with your women, because I don't know how your women are.
Right. So.
But our women can do it maybe if it's a romantic person, not only in bed or not only in bedroom, can do any other place.
Any room in the house.
Not only room, maybe outside. It
Maybe
can
in
be
nature.
Maybe nature.
Maybe in
forest,
elevators.
Car, elevators,
Elevator,
train, airplane, airport. So every place normally.
We call it the
normally.
Mile High Club if you do it in an airplane, because you're 1 mile high. We call it the 1 Mile High Club.
Very nice.
So,
Must try.
Must try. So Ukrainian woman is very free sexually. She can express herself, very open, not guarded.
Not guarded, of course, but
Open.
we cannot tell this about 100% of Ukrainian women.
Конечно,
Men can
yes.
understand this,
Yes.
because not every woman is for 100%
Yes.
is open and
Yes, we're generalizing.
Yes.
We're generalizing. And what about the Ukrainian woman? Does she really? It's important to her to please her man. Is it?
if she loves him.
Yes, if she loves him.
loves him.
Yes, we're talking about
Of course.
this. Yes.
Of course, if she loves him, if she really loves him, she will try to do her best to please him in every possible way.
So that includes in the bedroom,
In
sexually?
the bedroom, in the kitchen, and about the house with children. We have a proverb here.
Proverb. Okay, what is it?
Maybe you can cut it later.
Okay.
I will say,
No.
but you will know.
Now I'm very curious. I think I don't cut it.
But
Okay.
remember what I tell. If you want to have a good wife, you must have a whore in the bedroom,
A whore in the bedroom.
a chief cook in the kitchen,
Chief cook in
and
the
the
kitchen.
hostess in the living room when the guest came. So
Yes, we have a similar.
Ah,
we have
really?
a similar.
Okay.
Yes. And normally we don't talk about these things on camera, but it's interesting because every man wants this, and any man that says otherwise is a liar. Okay, but he doesn't want to admit it.
it's human nature.
It's human nature.
It's human nature.
Because the reason we're talking about sexuality is because, would you agree, it's like the foundation of a marriage, of a good, solid, long-lasting relationship, must have this excellent sexual relationship, mutual and
Mutual-
healthy, good sexual relationship.
relations, of course, they are one of the most important part in the marriage. But I can say that to my mind, for happy marriage is very important friendship.
Of course.
Friendship.
Of course.
And to my mind, from my experience, friendship is the most important part. Because if you're really friends, you can never lie to each other. You can always have what to speak about. You can share all your thoughts, all your secrets, all your plans, dreams together. And you will never be sick in each other's company. You
Never
will-
get tired of each.
Yes, never
each
get
other.
tired of each other. And the
agree.
most important, you will never deceive. If it's really friendship, because normally you can never deceive, cheat on your good friend.
Yes.
And everybody knows that love is gone after some time. Yes, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years.
Love. Careful now. Not. But this romantic love.
But romantic love,
There's
I-
different forms of love and different stages
Of course,
love.
I mean passion.
Passion.
I mean passion.
Yes. You must work to keep it alive in a marriage. You've been married now for 7 years.
Yes, for 7 years.
And you have 2 children.
2 children.
So to keep this romantic, passionate love alive, you need to spend time to only the 2 of you together. Get away sometimes. I know it's difficult.
It's very difficult, and not every person, not every family has this possibility, because someone working, someone taking care about children, someone don't have money enough to go somewhere. But, for example,
Especially when you have a young child like you do.
especially, yes.
There's these times.
But for example, if it's Saturday evening and children are sleeping, you can always watch movie together, drink some beer. If you drink sometimes little with your husband, so no need for him to go to drink somewhere. And
It's wise, I think. Yes.
after watching
Keep him home.
movie,
Keep him home.
yes, after watching movie, drinking some beer or maybe
some wine or
some
something.
wine, eating some
Little
sweets.
candles. Little romantic.
I
Maybe.
don't like candles
Oh,
and
okay.
romantic music for me.
Oh, okay.
I like
AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, hard rock and roll. maybe for
Prodigy,
you?
Prodigy.
Prodigy. Okay, I was
like,
close.
yes.
Okay.
And after you can make love, of course, and but it depends on a person. It depends if you discuss all your problems together, if you know what each other think about, if you know the person from all sides.
I completely agree with you. You know, when I was coming to Ukraine, I took a picture on my iPhone of a poster in Canada at where was it at? It was a furniture store, and it said, "Happiness is marrying your best friend." So I agree with you completely. I always say trust is the most important
Yes.
thing in a marriage,
Yes.
but you're saying the same thing because friends trust each other, right?
Yes.
So thank you for that, and thanks for talking about this topic of sex. Any other thing you would say on the topic of sexuality in the Ukrainian woman and the relationships? Maybe can you comment on Western man wants to know, is the Ukrainian woman how she is in speed of the physical relationship? So when the Western man starts dating her, they go on the first date, second date, third date, you know, first week, second week. Keeping in mind, Western man comes here for typically 1 or 2 weeks. Then he goes home. Then they communicate on Viber and Skype, maybe some emails. And then he comes back maybe many months later for another week. So it's this kind of relationship. How Western man can expect she wants to be in the progression of sexual relationship?
You know, it depends, and we never can say for sure when this woman will be ready to start his sexual relations just with you. You know, I think man can feel it himself, because sometimes we know such cases when this chemistry and it can be maybe and even first date. Who knows? Who knows?
Can be the
We
first
cannot
date.
accept these cases, yes.
If
but
there's chemistry and
and of course, maybe if it's fate and people feel like this, it can be even first date or maybe second or third. But if the woman has her own principles, maybe her own rules, then maybe men must wait. I don't know how much, because it depends on every woman. But not so quickly, I guess.
Not so
and
quickly.
if the woman has serious intentions to keep this man, if she really likes him and she wants serious relations, everybody understand. No sexual relations on first date. Okay, we know some happy coincidence, yes, but normally women always remember. Don't be too quick.
because
in
she's
this
serious and she wants to develop
Yes,
a
of course.
long-lasting relationship. Fair enough.
Exactly.
Do you mind sharing off camera? We were talking about your situation with your current husband. You were very slow. You
I
said-
was very slow because I just divorced with my first husband, and it was a really bad situation for me. And I was very upset, frustrated. I didn't look at men at all, and didn't think about marriage or something like this. I met him after 3 months after my divorce. He was a very good man, very careful.
Ukrainian man again.
Yes, Ukrainian
Yes,
man, not
yes.
again. My first was
Sorry.
Turkish.
Yes, I didn't mean again that way, but
okay.
yes, yes.
Yes, he was very careful, tender, lovely. He brought me flowers. He took me outside. We go outside, seeing. He likes my child, but it was not my type of man, you know, because I got used to like other types of men, and he wasn't that standard type which I like.
Right.
And it took him quite a long time, about 2 months. even to touch me for my hand.
Yes,
I
yes.
will say, I'm not ready. I'm still not ready. I need time. And I feel some confusing. Maybe it was my mistake. It was my mistake. I feel maybe our sexual relations won't be so good as I need. My view of him was false. That's why I always keep distance, because I didn't want to spoil our relations by having not maybe very good sex. And I try to prolong this moment. But I should say, when it happened already, I understand it was my fault. And it wasn't.
You're misunderstanding.
Yes, I misunderstand, and
So
he
it was
just my
great.
type. It was just my type.
He was your type.
Yes, he was a very good type.
You've been with the wrong type all along, and he is your type.
Yes, he
Interesting.
turned out to be just my type, and I decided I was stupid that I kept so long distance.
Well, not stupid, of course, but you know what? This brings up the topic.
It's just inner feeling, inner
Yes,
feeling.
I understand. This brings up the topic. Is it true Ukrainian woman is looking for not just any man, but her half? You call it her half.
Of course, every woman, I guess,
is
looks
looking
for half.
her half, to
half,
complete her.
of course, yes.
Ukrainian woman describes it as, I'm looking for the man to complete me, to make me whole.
To complete me, yes, but most of women also want not only complete, but just think he can take care of her and of her child, especially if she has child, she's divorced, and can give prosperity to her family. That she never think about how to buy food, or how to pay credit, or how to take medicine for her child. I speak now about Ukrainian women. Now I think it's most point which why our women looking for foreign men.
Okay, why are Ukrainian women looking for foreign men?
Because they want to be sure in tomorrow. Our women cannot be sure what will happen tomorrow, how she will live, if she will be able to protect her child, to feed him, maybe to give good education. I think it's the most purpose. But of course they are looking for care, love, good life, family life, warm relations, and about our women, it must be a complex of features. Complex.
Of course, it always is, right? It's not
Yes, of
one.
course.
Most women, it's not one
Yes.
thing, and most men, it's not one thing. Although, the one thing is a big part of it. but I understand. A woman has needs in a relationship, and a man has needs in the relationship, and the relationship is about satisfying each other's needs.
Of course.
Yes. And so you said you think it's mostly Ukrainian women is looking for basically safety and security.
Yes.
And how do you provide that? By having a good job and making good money, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and Ukrainian man is difficult to do this because of economic situation, the war, and it's difficult to provide
Really,
safety and
really
security, right?
And some of men, of course, are just lazy. We cannot just put all bad things just on the war and economical situation.
Okay.
Some of them are just lazy, egoistic, or wants maybe woman works more than him and to bring money home. It depends. It depends. But of course, economical situation plays very important role now.
Okay, fair enough. So back to what the Ukrainian woman is, why she's looking to Western men. So you think it's economically driven?
Most cases, yes.
So there's two ways we can look at this. Okay, it's economically driven. I can understand it because I've been in the Ukraine long enough to understand that it's really a dire situation here economically. And when I say dire, I mean it's really difficult to live in
It's
Ukraine
difficult
now.
to survive.
To make enough money, even to pay for food, shelter, clothing.
It's really difficult, really hard. And most people are just survive, not live, but just survive.
Just surviving. So why fault her from looking to have a better life? Especially if she has a child, she wants her child to have a better life. You think this is okay. But my big question is will she settle for a man because he has money and without love?
Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it happens, of course.
And or she wants love also. So he can provide, he can make money to provide safety and security for family, but also must be love. This is a difficult question to answer, but because you worked in marriage agency for a year and seen many women, seen many of the lady clients, what do you think? What percentage of the ladies that go to marriage agency only want money? They don't care about love. They only want safety and security and money, don't care about love. Or, yes, they want safety and security, but they will only marry him if she loves him also. What do you think?
50-50.
50-50, you think?
You know, 50-50 because it depends on just the problem of the certain woman. If the woman, for example, has quite a good job and has quite good money, enough money, not say good, but enough. She can support herself and her child, for example, and she's able to buy what she needs, yes, then maybe, but maybe she feels very alone. Lonely, and she's really looking for love, for friendship, for warm relations, then of course she must pay attention more to love than to finance.
This is, you're talking about a woman that has a good enough job so that she can provide for herself and her child.
Yes. If
This
she doesn't
situation.
have this situation.
Okay.
If the woman doesn't have all this and she's really, for example, maybe sometimes it's catastrophic situation, who knows? Maybe child is really ill. Maybe really woman has very big bank credit, I don't know, maybe. And if she knows that man is really rich and he can provide her with all her needs and pay all these bills and she can take off this load from her shoulders, why not? We know, all of us know such cases when people married for profit, not for love. And maybe she doesn't care at that moment. It depends on how bad her situation is right now. Maybe she won't care about love and something, but just her child will be fed up enough.
She won't have to worry. She'll be looked
about
after.
what will happen tomorrow or something like this.
So in this kind of a situation, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying if the woman is in really tough situation economically, she can't provide the basic food, shelter, maybe, or she's struggling, or maybe problem with child, this is the situation that man has to be very careful.
Of course.
Because she might want to marry him for the wrong reasons, for his money, maybe to get to another country, to have a better life, and not for love.
Not for love.
Let's talk about age difference, because I think this plays together here. In this kind of situation we're talking about now, this could be maybe a 30-year-old or a 25-year-old woman marrying, what, 60-year-old man?
It's not normal, of course.
Not normal.
And 25 years old and 60-old...
or 30 and 60
30.
even?
No, I think about 10, 15 years difference, it's okay. It's okay. You know the problem that 20 years old girl cannot understand what wants 45-year-old man because their purposes are different, their experience are different, their way of thinking are different. This girl wants to play, wants to go to disco.
Yeah, even at
wants to
25
be free.
even.
Yes, entertainment, not children, not washing, not cooking, not taking responsibility, not working at marriage. Working, because we know that a good, successful marriage takes much effort and power. Yes, you know. I see.
Of course.
I see.
Yeah,
and man was
it
serious,
takes commitment. Takes commitment.
of course. And he wants come back home to eat, to sit, maybe to watch television.
The man.
The man. Maybe to play with children. Just want a settled, fixed, normal, calm life. Their purposes are different, so they cannot understand each other. This young girl will like different music, he will like different types of things, maybe, and the bigger difference, age difference, the more difficult people can understand each other, you know. That's why I'm not sure that great difference in age can make a good match, you know.
So would you agree that the bigger the difference in age, above, say, 15 years, more than 15 years, the more you go in age difference, the higher the chances are that she wants to be with him
Just for money, just for money, of
or
course.
get out of the country,
Of course,
better life.
of course.
So what would you advise the Western man? Maximum age difference that he should be, if he's looking for, happy life, happy wife
Maybe
kind of
10,
situation?
15 years difference. It's quite a good difference age, and people have about a similar way of thinking, and maybe women after 30 years, they are more experienced, they're more mature, they know what they want.
So women
Already.
above age 30.
Yes, I guess.
I think it's good advice from my experience, what I see also. Now, Vita, let's talk about advice that you would give to a Western man. You've worked in not only one agency, but quite a few.
Quite a few agencies, yes.
And the industry is
The
pretty...
industry is the same.
Same.
One is the worst, one is better, but same dirty
Ugly,
business.
dirty
Yes.
business. Okay. So the Western man is left confused. He sees all these beautiful ladies on internet of young, single, beautiful Ukrainian lady that's amazing woman, wife, housewife, housekeeper, amazing person. And he sees, okay, maybe there's an opportunity here. But the reality of it is it's a minefield, It's a minefield,
Right.
and he has to be very careful because the agency doesn't care about him and doesn't care about the woman and making happy couples. They don't care about this. So what advice would you give the Western man? Let me start by asking, how does he find, you worked for and you've seen many marriage agencies. Have you ever come across any good ones? Are they all bad or
No,
what?
personally, no. I have never come across a really good agency which is really cares about interests of both sides, women and men, and trying to match them to make happy couple. So
That's just a travesty. Let me just interrupt there for a second. So, is it true there's a lot of beautiful, younger, smart, sexy, educated, single Ukrainian women that are just looking for a good man to settle down and have a family with? Is it true? There's lots of them in Ukraine. Can't find a good man for some reason.
lots, but not millions, of course. Not so much like they can appear in agencies, Not so
Well,
much.
maybe not millions, but we're talking about country of Ukraine, which is
Many,
30,
really, I would
30
say
somewhat million.
really,
So probably
really many,
there's a lot.
a lot.
A lot. And they're looking for a good man, and they can't find one, so they go to marriage agency.
Of course, because they don't have chance to find between Ukrainian men, and they have an idea, maybe abroad will be more successful.
Vita, what would you suggest? What recommendations would you make that if a Western man wants to come to Ukraine to find a beautiful younger lady and marry her and have a happy family, but genuine love, what he should do?
The best recommendation, I guess, is to find really good agency, which can provide you a really individual matching, and which will be really interested in making happy couple, not just
Not just for money.
not just for money, not just trying to keep money for writing letters for who knows whom, but just for making couples. This, I think, is the most important tool.
So personal private
Personal
matchmaking.
private matching. Yes, exactly.
Then you know the lady is serious.
Yes, of course, individual interviews or some psychological tools which can agency use while interviewing both men and women, then can be sure that both have serious intentions, genuine intentions to make a family, not for money.
I think that's great advice. Now, you've been in the industry, you've worked for a number of marriage agencies, and were any of them good? Were any of them about actual matchmaking?
I haven't met still. I haven't met still such agency. If never come across.
So they're all.
Most. I can't speak about all, about 100%, but I think 98, 99% are bad. But maybe if you're lucky, you can find one or two.
So do your homework, do your diligence, try to find good agency. that does personal matchmaking, and you know the ladies are
You know, I
serious. This is your
tried.
recommendation.
Yes,
This is your recommendation.
it's the best advice, I think. If you can, then you can be sure they won't lie, and you will write letters really to men, to women, and
So if a man just, looks on internet, finds a website, and starts writing to girls, to women in Ukraine, does it on his own, thinks, oh, I can save money and I can come over and just try it on myself, do it myself. What do you think about this situation?
then you can never be sure again that women are interested personally in you if you do it yourself, you mean?
Yes.
Um,
Do you think a lot of the women are just after money and a ticket out of the Ukraine that come to the agencies and sign up? A lot of them, you think? Or not too much, you think?
You know, the problem is that now there are many websites, free websites, where people can meet each other,
Yes.
foreign people, Ukrainian ladies and foreign men, and they can do, of course, without help of the agency. But both sides also can never be sure they are speaking with a real person, and nobody can say you about intentions of the person. Of course, happy coincidence, it can happen, but it's very dangerous. It really can be dangerous.
And there's a lot of stories. I talked to Artur. I interviewed him, and he's been looking for love in Ukraine for 10 years. And he's had
Yes.
failure after failure and heartbreak after heartbreak, and he spent over $10,000 on letter writing alone. Not to mention all agency fees to meet ladies and coming over here and hotels and airfare and stuff.
It was a really very, very bad story about one Canadian man.
So you were working in a marriage agency, and there was a client, Canadian man,
Yes,
and you were the translator
I
for
was
him
a translator
for a
for
long
him.
time.
I was a translator of this girl, and I was translating letters from different men to her and back.
Okay, so it turned out that this man you ended up feeling so bad for that you personally tried to help him because the agency ended up not caring about him, and he ended up with a broken heart. And so you personally took him into your home, tried to help him out. You and your
Yes.
husband, yes?
Yes, I and my husband.
And so you've known this Canadian man for 10 years. I'm just fast forwarding the story a little
Yes.
bit. And he tried and failed 3 times over 10 years.
He tried twice with the same girl after breaking one time, and he tried one third time with Russian girl.
So-
But he tried himself. He tried himself, like you
Himself.
said before, not from the agency. He met her in social
Okay.
net.
And I'll turn it over to you to tell the longer version of the story now, because I think the Western man can learn a lot from this story of this Canadian man. We'll call him, we'll call him Peter, okay?
Peter, okay.
Okay, Peter. That's not his real name. Okay, please tell the story.
So I was translating a few months their letters, and both of them looked to be very interested in each other. The girl was about 20, and she was from the village.
Okay.
She
Country girl?
Country girl, yes, exactly, just simple country girl. She has only her parents were divorced. They lived in very poor conditions, in very bad houses. So she looks really interested in that boy, and boy really liked that girl. She
And
take
sorry,
courses.
how old was she?
She
How
was
old
about
him?
20. She was about 19 that time.
19?
19,
And
and
Peter?
he was 32, I guess.
32, okay.
32, I guess.
Okay.
So he took courses of Russian language in Canada because he was very seriously intended and he wanted to come. He was writing huge letters. Every day, not one even letter, maybe 5, 6 letters. So lots of my time were taken to translate his letters and to answer him back.
And
But
can I just ask you? We'll call the lady he's communicating with. Let's call her. What's her name? First name.
Tanya.
Tanya. Okay,
Tanya.
so Tanya,
She was interested in letters.
She was?
She was.
So you were talking to her and doing
Yes, I was
authentic
calling
translating.
her. Yes,
Like-
I was calling her by phone, telling her about just translating by phone.
So it was
of
honest
the letter.
translating,
It was
honest
honest
communication.
translating. Of course,
Okay.
I made a bit.
which is rare, right? Which
yes,
is rare.
which is rare.
Normally,
Normally,
the email,
translator doesn't care. Just few words, just 5-10 sentences about weather, political situation, how the day gone, and that's all.
and just to be clear, normally in the letter writing industry or the email industry, normally you're not talking with the beautiful lady of the picture you see on the website. You're
Exactly.
communicating with somebody like you,
Somebody,
or maybe even a man,
even a man or old woman,
or devushka, old woman,
yes, babushka,
babushka.
babushka.
Sorry.
Never can be sure.
And that is in the email or letter writing industry. What percent? You're not talking to the woman, you're talking to a translator who's not
Maybe
the woman.
95%.
Most of the time.
Most
Okay,
of
so
the
please
time.
continue with the story. So it was actually authentic communication between
It was a good communication,
and
I
Tanya.
was
Peter and Tanya.
I was really caring about their relations because I think it will be a really good couple, and I helped them much from all my heart. I helped for her to write good letters, and I tried these letters. Were interesting to him to read, and he was quite poetic and romantic, and he opened his soul, you know. And while I was reading his letters and answering him, I understand his personality. He was really good person, and he was really interested in that girl. So he also had a brother, and his brother also was signed in agency, and he had a girlfriend in Ukraine, in Kiev.
Okay.
Oh, no.
That he met through the agency.
They met through the agency, but not from our agency, another agency.
Okay.
So they decided to come to Ukraine to visit their girlfriends. It was before New Year, just, and wanted to spend New Year parties, events together. So both these brothers came to Kiev. We met them both. I was translating. I met them from airport. The elder brother went to Kiev to meet with his girlfriend, and my Peter came to Sumy.
And let me just ask you, how long had the emails been between Tanya and Peter
Few
going
months,
back and forth?
about 5 months, 6
months.
months, every day.
Every day,
and
many.
several letters every day. Not just like one in 2, 3, 4, 5 days.
And how much
But
the
just-
agency charged per letter? Do you recall? This was many years ago.
Many years ago, the price was, I don't remember, about maybe $3-4 per letter.
Now
So
it can
he
be
was
up
right-
to now it can be up to 15, sometimes more.
I guess so. I guess so.
So, do you, any idea how much Peter spent on letter writing in that 5 months? A lot of money. It adds up.
More than $1,000, 100%. I
Yes,
get
yes.
more.
Okay.
And we met with the girl. It was a very nice meeting. They liked each other. They were communicated very good. And she didn't know English so good, but she can communicate somehow. But they look to understand each other properly. You know, maybe sometimes I felt they don't need me as a translator because they can easily understand. And I was a mature person at that moment, and she was a young girl, 19 countryside girl. And I thought, never can lie to me. I can never make mistake in this case, in this certain case.
She can't deceive you, you thought?
Yes. And so they spent a nice week before New Year. They spent New Year party. They went to a restaurant. Everything was super. And then she's gone. She's gone. They make an appointment in few hours, but her telephone was closed. She didn't come back, and she didn't answer on his phone calls. I understood. I realized that something happened. He was very worried about her because she said to him, I will go to sleep few hours and then come back to you. He was worried. He said, maybe we call to police, maybe she took taxi, maybe driver taxi was bad, maybe something happened on their way home. I say,
Do you
calm
know if they were
down.
having intimate relationship?
No, they didn't have.
No?
They
Okay,
didn't have. They didn't have. Just like friendship. They cook together in the kitchen. They go to cinema. Some different interesting places.
So they were
like
taking
this.
it really slow.
Yes. And I knew the name of the village she was from. I took my husband. We took our car and we went to that village. We tried to find her there. We did find, and then her telephone was on again. She switched on telephone. I called her and I asked what's happened. Where are you? We are worried. We are looking for you. We are in your village. She say, "Oh, please tell him I'm sorry, but I guess nothing special will be between us, so he can go home." I was really shocked because I knew the way from Canada was too long and too hard. It took about 2 or 3 days. I know he changed airplanes, and it was quite expensive also to buy these tickets. And he take Russian courses and wrote these letters, brought many presents for her and for her family. And you know, I felt very responsible for this unhappy ending because I feel myself guilty. I was translating these letters and I was making her letters to him more beautiful, more interesting. You know, I give not only her facts she asked me to write, but I give my experience in life too in these letters to make them more, you know,
You were
attractive.
beefing up the letters.
Yes, you understand how to make
it more emotional.
Yes, more emotional.
Which is what they teach you to do at the agency,
yes,
also, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he was greatly depressed and frustrated. He was shocked. I remember I was sitting with my husband in the car. I say how I will look in his eyes, what I will tell him, that everything was in vain. And he said, what we can do? And the problem that one day before he told me that his brother has very unfortunate meeting too. The girl even left him for this New Year party and went with her friends. So he stayed alone in apartment. Both brothers stayed in different apartments at the different ends of the city. They didn't know how to say correctly address. Nothing. So
Yes,
they
you
stay,
couldn't even take a. You
yes.
can't even call a taxi in
You
Ukraine
even
because you
call a
don't speak
taxi
Russian.
and say, "Oh, please bring me to my brother who is living on the address so." I called to the owner of my agency and explained her the situation because I wanted to send him back quickly. I felt him like a friend, you know. He was a really good person. But my owner said, okay, keep him here longer. We will try to introduce him other girls. I say, no, you don't understand. He was really interested just in this certain girl. Not in finding girl, but in this certain girl.
He was falling for her.
He won't look at different girls. After this heartbreak, I don't think normal person will be ready to meet other girls after 5 or 6 months of writing letters. It was impossible. And I say, okay, I will propose him. I propose, but he say no, never, please. I don't feel anymore like wanting to meet Ukrainian girls or something like this.
If they're like this and they're going to do this to me. Did she actually live in this village?
Yes, she lived
did,
in
okay.
that. She did
So-
in that village, but they never see each other again. I take him all his baggage with my husband in our car, and we brought him to the apartment of his brother. I organized the tickets, back tickets, just for tomorrow morning. We brought them to our home for evening supper, holiday supper. It was New Year. He was happy. We make photos, speaking, trying to relax him, to entertain him
Brought
somehow.
him into your home
Yes. So to give him some atmosphere and to show him that not all Ukrainian people and especially women are bad. There are still normal people. In the morning, I organize taxi. I say them bye-bye to both of them. Both of them unhappy, frustrated, angry, went back to Canada. On our way back home, this girl called me and say, you know, I'm really sorry, but I want to try once again. I say, you are not normal person, sorry, this man went. He left already, he's on his way to airport. Oh, please call him and say, she was crying, a really good actress. She was crying and say, please, it was my mistake. It was my mistake. I was wrong. I thought about it. I was stupid. Please make somehow that he can forgive me and we continue our conversation. I called him while he was in the car, explained him, and he said, okay, when I come back home, we continue our conversation. I forgive her. Maybe she's too young, maybe something in your head, I don't know what, okay. They can, after he came back, I was so impressed and depressed by this situation that I stopped working at that agency.
You quit your job
Yes,
there.
I quit my job. I called next day my owner and say, sorry, I can't work like this because I went through this situation. You know, I went with all my thoughts and feelings.
It's a big
I don't
emotional...
want to yes, and I'm an emotional person. I was involved in these relations. It was my job to make a couple. I did my job, but she was a good actress. Sorry.
No, little no-see-em bugs out here in the summer.
And after they continue their conversation for about few months, they make an appointment in Canada. She might come to him to Canada. He sent her money to make a foreign passport. I helped her to get visa, but she failed in getting visa. First time, she failed to get in, and she might go for second time for getting visa, but she didn't want, and she didn't.
And he sent money for it.
He sent money for it, of course. We again had a great scandal and fight with her. I say, you got money for visa, you got passport. Why you don't go to get this visa? She say, I don't want. Then I say, God damn you. Sorry, bye-bye. Never want to see you again. I say him also, my advice was, never try again with our women. Never. Few months
Why
he
did
was
you
very
say that? Why did you say that?
because you know I'm a grown-up person. I'm quite clever. I'm not stupid. I can see people, and such 19-year-old girls lied to me, and it was my mistake. I didn't see her real intentions, and I felt very responsible for this. And I say you cannot be never be sure.
But let's analyze this maybe for a second. She's 19.
She's 19.
It's a very
just
different
playing
woman.
tricks, of course.
Just playing tricks, and from a village, very, very poor. So
Yes.
let's face it. $100 is nothing for Peter in Canada.
Really,
It's nothing.
really,
Okay?
really.
And for her, that's more than a month of income.
Of course.
So if she can get $100, that's 1 month. If she can get $300, that's 3 months of income. And maybe she doesn't have food. Maybe she can't pay utility bills or something like this. She's 19. She's not mature. She's very immature. What about a 30-year-old? Contrast that to a 30-year-old Ukrainian woman. She has
30
life
years,
experience.
of
She's
course.
serious. She's looking for a
She's
good
really
man.
willing to make family.
So why you said to Peter, never try again with one of our women?
I was very angry.
You were very
I was
angry.
very angry and,
And disappointed in yourself
disappointed
that
myself.
that
Then
you
I
were
say
duped,
I
you were
will never do this work
deceived.
again.
Uh-huh,
Yes, and then I
Okay.
tried.
Okay, so
once
please
again.
continue. Please
When I
continue.
tried once again, and I see the system is the same and even worse than in my first agency, then I stopped for always.
So, okay, the story continues.
The
It
story-
unfolds. So let's go with round 2 with Peter here. What happened there?
Peter met himself, a Russian girl in the internet, I guess, girl from Russian, and she was quite mature. She wasn't so young, and they were communicating about 1 year by Skype themselves without help of any agency.
Okay.
And he fell in love again. They trust each other. It was good conversation, everyday conversation, Skype conversation, and then they make appointment to go to Bali.
Bali.
To
Get
meet
married?
there,
Oh,
not to
to
get married, just for to
vacation.
meet alive, to spend 2 or 3 weeks together. At last moment, something happened. And I want to tell that he bought tickets by himself and she bought tickets by herself. So he wasn't sending money to her. something happened bad in her family, and they say, no, I don't want to go anywhere, don't want to communicate, and don't want anything. And they stopped the relations. It was real hook, and he was depressed many months after this situation again. And then I say, you remember I told you, don't even try. And he said, yeah, I remember, but what can I do?
I told you so.
I told you. I'm like a mother or elder sister. I told, because really I was caring about him.
So what happened? What happened with this Russian woman, you think? Get the tickets to Bali?
For me,
did she get money from him?
For me, no, they must buy, but individually. She might buy for himself, and she might buy for herself.
So he didn't even buy her tickets to Bali?
Yes.
He did not?
No.
She bought her own tickets to Bali?
They might, but they didn't do because something wrong had happened in her family. I don't remember. Her granny died or something like this. Some grief.
Okay.
And she just cut this conversation. Just cut without explaining the reasons. She just tell, I don't want to see you anymore. I don't want nobody to see. I need some time. And...
So there was no scam. She didn't get money
no,
from him.
No scam. Just unhappy ending.
Unhappy ending. It
Just
was a year of
unhappy
relationship.
ending. Yes, after 1 year of everyday chatting, conversation.
So what do you conclude from this? These two Peter stories, or do you want to tell the third Peter story?
No. Third. I know his third story, but it doesn't concern Ukrainian or Russian women.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. Conclusion. What conclusion?
He was a good guy.
He's a really good guy.
A really good
He's
guy.
a really good guy and a really good and open person.
He looks good?
He looks good.
Uh-huh.
He looks a bit specific. But he's
a bit
really
different.
A bit different,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
But he's really good friend of mine now, and I know his personality very good. I know his weak sides and strong sides, good and bad. But I don't know why it happened like this. First time I understand it was playing tricks. Second time maybe just a coincidence. Just unhappy stories. Just unhappy stories. Anytime you must be careful.
So what do you think what kind of lessons we can glean from this for the Western man? It's difficult to have an intercultural, cross-cultural relationship.
Of course, because way of thinking and
the
mentality.
Mentality
is quite
language
different.
barrier.
Language barrier. You can never understand for 100% the person what he or she want to say you, to show you. And if you misunderstand one word or one phrase, it can be fighting, misunderstanding, disappointing, I don't know what.
And the Google Translate is very bad.
No, it's bad.
Google Translate.
Google
From
Translate
Russian,
never can.
From Russian to English
and back.
Especially is bad.
Especially is bad.
English
yes.
to Russian is not too bad.
You can never trust.
But
this
Russian to
translator.
English is terrible.
Terrible.
So you get these misunderstandings.
Misunderstandings.
Mindset,
yes, maybe I want
culture.
to say just this point of view, and you understand other way, and you cannot know the personality for 100% if you don't understand for 100% the language. You know, that's a problem too.
Any other lessons from this? Any other advice that you'd give the Western man if they're to be successful? Meeting
with Ukrainian women.
Ukrainian women.
Just try to find a really good agency. Try to listen to your heart, your intuition. Be serious yourself.
Don't play games.
Don't play games. Be open. Be sincere. Be generous with our women. Be generous. Be attentive and careful if you are so in real life. If
Yes,
you are
don't
so,
be
if
who
you
you are
really,
not.
yes, don't play. And if you will be lucky, you will find a woman who will really worthy of all your positive sides. Your and
I think that's great advice. I mean, I think, matchmaking, cross-culturally, Russian or Ukrainian to Western man, it already is a difficult task. And then you add
Yes.
all the cons and scams on top of this, and the women that are not serious, that are looking just to make money, you add this on top of the problems, and you add all of the
And not everything
difficulties.
depends just on agency.
And not everything just depends on it. You add all of these difficulties up, and this is why the ugly truth of the marriage agency is that there's very few marriages.
Really, and
Really?
happy marriages.
And happy marriages
happy
that
marriages.
last.
Yes.
That don't just get married, go to America or Canada and divorce in 1 or 2 years,
Exactly.
you know, because it was not good intentions from the woman. Maybe
You
she just
cannot
wanted.
play all the time. You can maybe 1 or 2 years, but not all the time. It's very difficult to
So you-
hide intentions.
So you have to be very serious, be open, honest. Look for an agency that does personal, private matchmaking. I know there are some
Which can provide individual approach.
individual, one person. So they can
Specific
look for a
way,
woman
yeah.
that is a good match for you.
Just be
specifically.
interested in you.
Yes. Because Ukrainian woman, here's a question: is it worth the search? You know what the Ukrainian
Of course they worth. Of course
Of
they
course
worth.
they're worth the
Of
search.
course they worth. Not all, but most.
Right, and to find this your half in Ukraine, for a Western man to find his half in Ukraine, is it worth the search? Is it worth the journey? Because she is such a beautiful, open, loving, caring, sexy, educated, talented, amazing woman. Is it worth the search for
It's
him?
worth, of course, it's worth. So if the man pays attention to these points and will be really hard looking for,
Yes.
so I guess he has a great chance to have really good wife, friend, advisor, assistant, wife, everything, mother for children, everything in one, everything in one.
They are amazing. You are amazing. And Ukrainian lady is amazing as well.
Thanks.
Thanks, Vita. You know, Vita, what continues to blow my mind, what totally shocks me, is that there's so many beautiful, young, talented, educated, sexy Ukrainian women walking around all over the place. You know, and they're single for years and years and years. Some of them I talk to, how long you been looking for a man? 7 years. And I say, why you can't find a good man? Why you go to agency? Oh, I don't know. I look, but I can't find good Ukrainian man. What's your comment on that? Why do you think that is? And it's not
First of
one
all,
woman. Sorry, I
it's
talked to. It's
many.
many women. I've talked to 50 women now, single women. And they tell me, sorry, also that if they have child, it's even harder to find a good husband.
Of
in
course,
Ukraine.
because man doesn't want to take responsibility for baby, for child from other men. Sometimes man doesn't want to take responsibility for his own child.
Ukrainian
Not,
man.
not speaking about men not speaking about child from other men. So and of course it took more money to take care about child, school, kindergarten, clothes, medicine. I don't know, entertainment, and our men are choosy. They have too good choice, too good.
So they're
And,
spoiled.
They are
Beautiful
spoiled,
women all
yes.
over the place.
Capricious.
Capricious.
And many of them are lazy, won't just drink, walk around, hang around, change women, spend time with their friends, and then come back to clean, tidy house with food, with woman waiting for him, beautiful looking woman waiting for him, servicing table, doing nothing. He wants everything.
Wow.
Sometimes. But I think it can happen also abroad too, not only here.
And to be clear, you're married to a Ukrainian man.
Yes. But my husband is the best.
Is the best,
Is the
of
best.
course. Конечно.
He can do, we share all tasks about the house. We never divide, this is work for women, this is work for men. He can cook, he can clean, he can iron. I hate ironing. He only irons. I cook for longer term, for example, for 3-4 days, big dishes, but I don't have enough fantasy to cook quickly fast, especially if you don't have anything at home. But he's talented.
So the point is, not all Ukrainian men are like this. And
Not all,
and I
of
think
course.
I hear that women say to me, the good Ukrainian men are already married. And so they have a hard
Also,
time
yes.
finding a good Ukrainian man because they say the good ones, they marry early.
Or you must
So if a
break
woman-
the family.
So if a woman is or break a family, then he becomes available again. So the woman that's over age 30, she's the one that has the toughest time to find a good husband in Ukraine.
She can hardly
true.
find free good men
Free,
at that
available.
age. At that age,
that age,
because until 30, most of people are married here, especially if it's a good person. He will be married
before the age of 30.
before age of 30, yes, and you have chance only or to find divorced man or to break someone's family, if your principle allows you to do it. But abroad, people getting married in elder age. Older age,
yes,
sorry.
it's true.
In older age, so it's more easy to find men about 40, maybe he divorced or maybe he even wasn't married at all.
In Ukraine, I see couples getting married much younger. And a woman
Yeah.
wants to have children by the time she's already early 20s. She wants children. Yes? Most.
Now this tendency is a bit changing.
Changing.
Year by year, yes.
Uh-huh.
For example, my daughter doesn't want to have child in early age. She looks at me and she say, oh, maybe 26, 28.
How old is your daughter?
9.
Okay.
Elder is 9.
Yes, yes.
But she looks at me and she say,
Yeah.
I want the same husband as you have.
So there's these reasons why there's so many beautiful, smart, sexy, amazing Ukrainian women that are single looking for a good husband. That's why, because they can't find a Ukrainian man, that's why they're going to marriage agency. You think many of them are honest, sincere, looking for fall in love and have happy family, which is the dream in Ukraine.
It's a dream.
I mean, that's the goal of life in Ukraine is happy family. Is it right?
Of course, it's the main purpose of these women. But the problem is that they can go to agency and then they can be chosen by many men. They can be chosen by many men, especially if she's young, clever, and beautiful. But the problem is that she must also like the man. And
Yes.
mostly young men doesn't write letters to our women. More elder men, mostly. You understand what I mean? In most cases, more elder men are involved in this industry. Young men prefer just to look women around his.
You're talking about older men in Western
Western men.
Yes.
If you see this tendency,
Yes, the
if you look
tendencies.
profiles,
Yes.
if you look profiles, you can find more and more elder men after 40. After 40.
Yes, Western men coming to Ukraine.
You can never
Yes.
find 25, 30, maybe 33, but
It's
very,
unusual.
it's unusual.
Small
very
percentage. It's
small
mostly, I would say,
percentage, yes.
average would be 50 years old.
Yes.
Okay?
About 50.
50,
yes.
55,
55, yes,
average.
60, and even more.
Which is, again, because of the bigger age difference, we were saying earlier, the more you go beyond 15 years age difference, you have to be more and more careful
Of course,
that it's really true feelings, really true connection, and true love,
and true intentions.
true intentions.
Right.
Well, thank you. That really, I think, helps the Western man to understand what is the opportunity in Ukraine to find a beautiful wife, and also how and why they must be very, very careful.
I hope it will help them.
I'm sure it will.
Hey, it's Joe here. This video is for you if you were one of the countless guys that personally emailed me after watching our undercover video series, Love Me, Love Me Not. You asked me, Joe, how can I meet a real sincere Ukrainian lady? Can you point me in the direction of some good agencies? So I'm going to share with you my #1 agency recommendation in this video. But before I do, let me share the backstory with you, how this came to be. You know, like you, I began my journey back in Canada at my computer, looking at the myriad of websites with all these beautiful, incredible, model-like beauties, Ukrainian beauties. And I found these sites are all the same, and I was skeptical, but I got my butt on a plane and flew to the Ukraine and just jumped in with both hands and feet. I quickly found out that these are some pretty shark-infested waters, right? And I just wanted to know what's the truth. I wanted to know what is the path potentially for my success to meet a sincere, honest Ukrainian lady for marriage, right? For love and marriage. So I became kind of an undercover journalist and went to agency after agency after agency and went on a lot of dates, met with the owners, and my spidey senses were always tingling. I came to a point, honestly, where I gave up. I thought, this is not in the cards for me. And that's when I met this diamond in the rough agency. And I got so excited when I met them. At first, I was really skeptical, didn't believe. Their stats are unbelievable. 91% marriage success rate, over 800 marriages over their 16 years in the matchmaking business. But then I met with the owner and met with her a number of times, and she's so genuine, sincere. I met with their lead matchmaker, Tatiana, who she's been married over 30 years herself, and she loves her job matchmaking. And she's got a background in psychology. She meets with all the ladies personally. So they're genuine, sincere ladies. And that is huge. I think that's 80% of your success is to choose from a pool of ladies that are well vetted. And they're genuine, sincere ladies. That's huge. So I got so excited because I said, everybody needs to know about this agency, because I couldn't find another honest agency in Ukraine. So I said, everybody needs to know about this. And the bottom line is, I joined forces with them. We partnered up. We've rebranded as matchguarantee with a y.com. And we've done some incredible things differently, because I realize in this industry especially, we need to earn your trust. We need to do something different to give you a chance to check us out, right? To feel what we're all about and check out our ladies. So what we've done is we offer some incredible free services. So you get to, like I say, check us out completely free. So what that includes is you get to meet up to 10 ladies. We'll personally introduce you to them, send them up to 20 emails, and you get to talk to one lady on Skype completely free. Okay, so that said, that's matchguarantee with a y.com. On a final parting note, guys, I just want to say that I've been where you are right now. I know what you're going through. I've taken the lumps. I've learned through the school of hard knocks, and I've paved the path for your success. Okay, how about we go on this journey together? Let me help you find your half in the Ukraine. I promise you it's possible. She's waiting for you here. That said, as always, the ball's in your court, right? So if that sounds good to you, go ahead. You can go to matchguarantee.com and start your journey today. Okay, so on that note, I wish you all the best on your journey looking for love in the Ukraine. Bye now.